I'm Shreya and this is Decoding Code. In this video, we are going to be talking about comparable and comparator, the differences between those two interfaces, and when you might want to use both of those. I'll also be showing you guys some examples that I've created here. Let's just get right into it. So we're going to start with comparable. So what is that? That is an interface, and the only method that it has is this compare to method, which basically just compares two objects to each other. And what this does is if one is less than the other, then it will return a -1, and if one is greater, it will return 1, and then if both are equal, it will return 0. That has its own kind of default thing. If you have a list of objects that you want to sort, there is no factor to sort them by, because the computer will kind of be confused and there's nothing to kind of sort them by unless you kind of override this compare to method. So that's what I'm doing here, since I intend to sort these objects of this water class. The water class is going to implement the comparable, so then I can override this compare to method. So with the two objects that I'm going to be comparing, if the cups, so in water I have cups, color, quality, and type, and cups is an integer value. So if both of the cups are equal, then I would completely skip this step. But if the cups are different, then I would sort that like regular. But if they are equal, then the next value that I kind of want to sort it by is the quality, and that is also an integer value. So that is what I want to compare it by if the cups are equal, so it has something else to go on. Here I created these water bodies. So here there's a puddle, and the cups are 15, very small, and the quality is a 10. It's not right, but I just wanted to put that as the example. And then for these two, the lake and the pool, they both have the same amount of cups, but the quality is different, and then you can see how that will play out in the console. So here I have done collections.sort with the array list, because I put these three water bodies into an array list here, and then I'm going to sort that. So then what we can see here is it kind of defaults and goes to check if there is a comparable with the water class. So since there is, and any object of water is to be compared this way, we will see that it will compare it by the compare to method that I've overridden. So the 15 cups goes first, since that is different from the rest, and then these two have the same amount of cups, so then it goes on to check the quality, and that's 8 and 9, so it puts that in like that. So that is the comparable, and that is for that entire class water. So any object of water will be compared this way, and then the dot sort takes those numbers that it returns, the -1, 0, and 1, and it sorts it that way. Alright, so that's comparable, and it's for this entire water class. So generally, even if I create a bunch of objects in a bunch of different lists, and I just say collections.sort that list, it will use this comparable and it'll come back and check this. But what if I wanted to do it like differently, just for once or for a few times, and I still wanted this to be the general kind of rule to sorting it for this entire water class? Well, then that's where the comparator comes in. I am sorting it again, however I'm using, and I'm saying new comparator because, okay, so some background. Comparator is also an interface, however it is a functional interface, meaning that it has multiple methods, but only one of them is abstract, and that's the only one that you have to implement here. So that is called the compare method. And so what I'm doing here is I'm kind of making this comparator that does not have a name, because what I'm going to do is I'm basically using this comparator only once, and then it won't be able to be used again after this. So I'm just creating it. It's a new comparator, and it's going to be for the water class. And here I'm implementing this compare method, and with this object 1 and object 2. So this way, I just want to, for this one time, sort it by the color as opposed to the cups and the quality. So here it's color, and then I'm just comparing it to the other color of the second object. And this comparing these two strings, since this color, the colors are strings. So that will be done alphabetically. It will be sorted alphabetically with that same -1, 0, 1. The result is a negative integer if it's preceding the other string, and then it's a positive one if it's following the other string, and if they're equal, then it's 0. So you can see that, and it uses that negative, positive, and 0 so that when you do collections.sort with this new comparator, it knows exactly what to do and how to sort it. And this is for water body. So this is the same array list, however, I'm just sorting it a bit differently. And since I am putting in this new comparator here, it will look at that instead of the kind of default that it goes to look at the comparable. So this is kind of like one use. This way, it's pool, puddle, lake instead of puddle, lake, pool. Because in this case, blue, brown, and then green, that's the alphabetical order of the colors. Brown is definitely murky and less quality than green, but that is the alphabetical order, and so thus that is why it is like this, and it's not doing anything based on the cups, because as you can see, that's not ordered that way. So I couldn't put new comparable here, it wouldn't let me do that. And also, if I put in a comparator instead, if I said water implements comparator, if I put just like this, collections.sort water body, it wouldn't really look at that comparator. And because it's comparable, it looks at that and just default goes to that. And that's why it's generally for the entire like class, generally it's used the comparable, and then on those like one-off circumstances, you can use the comparator. And also we create it in line like this because you don't want to like create a comparator in a completely different file or class and then use it like that. That's just a lot more, and it's way easier to just have this sort of code, especially if you're just using that comparator once. And yeah, so hopefully that was informational for you guys. Hopefully you learned a bit more about comparators and comparables. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up, please, and consider subscribing. And you can put any feedback or suggestions that you guys have in the comments below. And yeah, I upload every single Monday, and I will see you guys again next time. Bye!